Hello my friends and welcome back to another Brotato Danger 5 guide. Hope you're all doing well. Today we're playing the Technomage, which of course I've already done a guide for, but I wanted to update it because this character has changed enormously with the addition of the Paws and Claws update. The addition of the Blazemander and the Bottomine help a ton for this character, and also the weapon selection that I think is optimal to use for the Technomage has changed since I did that guide. So I wanted to update this guide because it's a very difficult class that a lot of people still struggle with, but you can make it a lot easier. The Technomage has additional attack speed for every elemental damage that you gain, and extra elemental damage for every structure that you have. These let you combine those two stats in order to get really high burning damage when you can apply it off your structures, and really fast structure attack speed as long as you're building elemental damage. You require 75% more XP to level up in exchange, which makes it really hard to get defensive stats. And you can't use melee or ranged damage because, of course, you're an elemental engineering character. You also start with 2 turrets. For some reason, only one is shown in this icon, but you do start with 2 turrets at the beginning of the run. Our weapon selection is the main thing that I've changed my mind on. We're going to be starting with the torch. This is an elemental weapon, and the elemental weapon tag does count as permanent elemental damage, so it will increase our structure attack speed, the elemental damage we get from that. But more importantly, this is a very cheap weapon, good for a character that just needs to buy a lot of stats, and comes with the primitive weapon tag. Super important for the Technomage, which is going to struggle a lot to get defensive stats, because our increased XP requirements make it much more difficult. And so having the torch boosting our HP with the primitive tag makes this character so much easier and smoother to play. We got one of the new items, the rat, and we are going to lock that. I think that the rat is almost always just worth taking in the early game. You should usually lock it on most characters. The extra damage that it does is just really strong, and it helps you finish off low health enemies. I'm also going to ban Alien Worm here. I want to ban level 1 items because we're looking for turrets, we're looking for landmines, and we're especially looking for Scared Sausage to show up. So we're going to mostly use our bans on level 1 items when we're playing the Technomage. We'll go ahead and buy this torch, and then reroll and lock another torch. Kind of a perfect start with 4 torches, a bag, which is just one of the best items out there, and a rat, which can help us kill stuff. As always, in the first 2 shops, we're just going to be rolling for weapons. That by far the most important thing is to get our full weapon set online, but especially for this character who benefits so heavily from both of the weapon tags that we're using. Great to get a landmines, we can buy that and it immediately boosts our elemental damage by 2, giving us more damage on our torches. And then we'll roll here for harvesting, I'll roll again. I missed twice, so I think I'm just going to take 2 regeneration. I could take an elemental damage as well, but defensive stats are at a significant premium for this character because you get fewer levels than other characters. And for most characters, that's where your defensive stats come from, is your levels. So making sure that we can get them when they're offered to us is going to be really important. It's okay to take a hit. We have the extra health from the primitive weapon tag, so we're fine there. And as you can see, our damage per swing isn't terrible. We are gaining a decent amount of elemental damage just by the virtue of the character that we're playing. So even these level 1 torches with low elemental damage scaling just do a lot of damage. We'll take the +2 elemental damage when we see it, because it's a level 2 upgrade, and then we'll roll. I'm still looking for harvesting if possible. I could take 6 speed, but I think I want to roll again, and I'll throw in 1 more reroll here. Getting pretty unlucky on finding harvesting, but we'll take 2 regeneration. Then we'll pick up the torch and the bag and the rat. Rat, of course, can help us kill stuff and works really well with our torches to deal damage all over the map. Sharp Bullet is great with our turrets and any other that we get, so we're happy to buy that. We'll lock a beanie, and I'll throw in another reroll looking for a torch. I will also lock this butterfly, and the reason for that is that we want to ban it, so we're going to buy the other 3 items in the shop and ban the butterfly and get a free reroll as well as using our ban. Rat's also pretty nice for this character because we have the primitive weapon tag, so it has a little bit more base damage in the early game, since it scales off of your HP. What we're really hoping to find is, of course, bottom mines and blazemanders, because those are going to make our damage even higher. Bottom mines are structures, so they'll also give us more elemental damage. Did I get it? I think I got it at the end. Yeah, we got 3 curse. So we actually had 3 curse aliens spawn. That can happen. It doesn't usually, but it's possible. And so getting 3 curse is really nice in the early game. I'll roll here. Okay, we finally get to take some harvesting, and I will still take it over the level 2 speed. We'll buy the items that we talked about buying, and then we'll ban the butterfly. Take a reroll here, lock a torch. Obviously, Clockwork Wasp is amazing for this character, and given that I have 2 great items locked, we're going to go ahead and just go straight to the next wave. Even though we get structure attack speed by buying elemental damage, we definitely still want to buy more structure attack speed, and the move speed from the Clockwork Wasp is awesome as well. So things are going really well for us right now. Our damage is really keeping up. We've got our rat, which is running around killing stuff for us alongside our turret and fire. The thing that we need the most is, of course, a scared sausage, and that will let us spread fire from our turrets. I don't think I'm going to make it to that tree in time. I didn't see it until right at the end there, which is a little sad. Here, I'll take 2 armor. We currently have 0 armor, so we definitely want to build that, and we'll buy a torch. Clockwork Wasp is good. Alien Tongue, I think, is okay on this character. Pickup radius can be an issue, and consumable heal is something that we will be building. But do I want to ban it just because it's a level 1 item that's kind of mid? I think I'll take it. This is close, but picking it up there, I think, makes just a little more sense, because leaving materials on the ground is something that we're going to struggle with, and we don't want to... and we also do want some knockback, and we also additionally want some pickup radius. We have reduced our knockback with the sharp bullet, but if we can get a decent amount of knockback, then it works very well with all our structures. Even though we want engineering a little bit, reinforced steel is pretty weak. Pumpkin does work with our sharp bullet. Currently, though, the damage of our projectiles, not that important. What we're using these for is the initial damage, and then also potentially adding scared sausage once we get that. So I'm actually going to pass on both of these. I will leave them in the pool because I still want to ban from level 1 to make scared sausage more likely to appear. As well as the other generically really strong level 1 items for this character, of course. And structures like turrets and landmines. It's a little bit... there's an interesting risk-reward game with these pufferfish when you're attacking them with your torches. If they die to the burning, they'll explode. But if they die to the actual melee attack from your torches, they won't. So you can either hit them and then run away and then let them tick out. Actually, it didn't explode there. I'm not sure why. Usually it'll explode when it dies to burning. I'll take 2 regeneration, and then we got a... I'm still trying to figure out why that happened. But we got a bottom mine, which is exactly what we're looking for. This is going to spawn so many landmines because we have high elemental damage that it's just going to cover the map in mines. We'll take a tree and a beanie as well. Do a reroll here. The dynamite is now worth it because we have a bottom mine, so explosion damage is pretty valuable. And you can see why level 1 items are so good for this character. There's so many that are great. I'll take a charcoal as well, just for more elemental damage. So now, our little bottom mine guy is going to be following us around, and it will be pooping out landmines every 3 seconds, because we have a bunch of structure attack speed. Once we get a few of those, they're just going to cover the entire map in mines. Oh, we got my favorite band, Cursed Walrus. Gotta keep it on fire and also kill all of these healers and prevent them from healing it. Every healer tick is 100 healing, so that's 100 damage undone as soon as the healer walks next to the walrus, which has somewhere around like 400, 500 health at this level. I don't know exactly what the number is, but it's a lot. So you really need to avoid letting the healers heal it back up, or it'll take you so much longer to kill it. At this point, I think harvesting, unfortunately, is running away from us, so I'm just going to take 2 more regeneration. I do want to get to 10 or 20 regeneration pretty quickly. We'll buy out this entire shop, and then we'll roll. We'll buy a torch upgrade, lock a helmet, and a treasure map, and then do another reroll. And fresh meat, this is a good item to ban. We, of course, don't care that much about lifesteal. It does work with our pets, but we only have 2 currently, so it's still not really good for us. I will reroll one more time, because, I mean, this was better than I could have hoped, but I was hoping for a torch. Took some damage from the cursed enemies there. We have built actually quite a bit of curse in this run just because we got some early extra cursed enemy spawns. So, early extra curse alien spawns. So we should see a decent number of cursed enemies spawning, which of course is good. It'll help make up for how our harvesting hasn't really kept up in this run. Normally I would want a lot more harvesting than we've hit at this point. But having high curse also helps fix our economy. I would really like some attack speed. Our torches are, though not from statue, of course, because this item is terrible, but our torches are doing their best to knock enemies away from us, but since we attack so slowly, their best is not very good. Metal, one of the best items you can find on the Technomage. It's all stats that you want. You don't care about crit chance. And here's the payoff for this early curse. We get a Cursed Cauldron. An incredible find for us. Lots of bonus damage, only costs 1 regeneration, gives us more curse, and stacks really well with the pickup radius that we already have to let us pick up even more materials. We'll buy the torch here, and then we'll go up to a level 3 torch. Usually you want to level your torches evenly until they're all level 2, and then get 1 to level 4. Because when you set an enemy on fire, it inherits the damage and duration of the highest damage and duration of every remaining burning effect. So getting 1 level 4 torch means you'll usually be doing level 4 fire. We'll take the Scar here, an amazing find to help offset the XP penalty that this character has. We'll lock Radzilla, or we'll buy Radzilla. We'll lock the Dock Moth here. Scope we have no need for, but we're still saving our bands for level 1 items. Then we'll lock the Toxic Sludge as well. We've just gotten only really good level 1 item luck. We haven't had to ban anything. Either that, or I've just rolled past a bunch of bad items without even seeing them, which, of course, can sometimes happen. XP gain is incredible for this character because it offsets your 1 weakness. Obviously, the Technomage is going to be stronger than most characters, except for having fewer levels, because you have a really good passive that boosts all your damage output, and you start with a couple nice items, so you're always going to have a good start to the run with the 2 turrets that you start with. Just making sure to keep fire on everything. I'm taking a few extra hits, a few more than I need to. So I do need to be a little careful about that. Our healing is still not very good. I have reduced my regeneration a little bit with a couple pickups. Unfortunately, I can't afford to buy the salt water here because it costs elemental damage. So let's recycle that, and I'll take 2 more elemental damage. Then another amazing shop for us. So we're going to buy all of these. We'll roll here. Peaceful Bee is great for this character. Another really strong level 1 item. Because we want the harvesting and the melee and range damage, it doesn't actually reduce our damage at all. I will take the pencil as well. We don't currently have a lot of use for engineering, it's just our 2 turrets, but this character is very likely to find it. Oh, and it scales our bottom line, actually, so the engineering is still pretty good. You could buy a flamethrower, but you can see that the fire from our torches is actually better than the fire from the level 2 flamethrower, so it's just not something I'm that excited about. Finally get to ban a useless level 1 item, but we'll lock the mushroom. And energy bracelet is only 2 elemental damage. Crit chance does work with our pets, but I still think this is a pretty inefficient way to buy these stats. So let's just roll past that. And we're pretty happy to have done so, because we got, again, a really nice shop that's going to help our character out way more than the items that we rolled past. So pretty much the only thing we need in this run now is just 1 scared sausage and some more healing. That's all that we're really looking for in order to kind of cruise to victory. Our bottom line is doing a ton of work for us, and of course our torches hit really hard. We've got some good cursed items, so our economy is starting to really go into overdrive despite our low harvesting. Of course, if we see a good harvesting item like a tractor or something like that, we'll definitely still take it, but we're mostly focused on fixing the rest of our stats at this point. Snake, another item we would be very happy to see. That's a really strong item. The torch does have the snake effect of spreading the fire at level 3 and higher, so we don't need as many snakes, but it's still nice for the character. Here, I think I have to roll for armor. I could take 15 luck, or I could, like, take harvesting or something if I wanted to get really greedy. But this character just desperately needs armor at every stage of the game, just like pretty much every other character. So going up to 7 with our level 10 upgrade is really helpful. Then I'll take 8% damage. My percent damage is currently negative. I don't think we're going to be building dodge, so I'm not going to worry about that. We'll go ahead and combine the torches to a level 4 torch by the level 2. Buy all of these items in the shop, and we'll roll again. We can get another landmines and another torch. I think the torch will still help more than the mines. Too late for piggy bank, so we're going to pass on that. Wings, we don't care about either, because it's going to reduce our elemental damage. So even though I want speed, and the range isn't bad on torch, I still don't want to buy wings. 1 attack speed boost would go a long way as well. I did pass a small magazine earlier, the one that increases your attack speed and your ranged damage. Now, obviously, the Technomage can't use ranged damage, and we're not a ranged damage setup, but small magazine, because it gives attack speed, which is an incredibly valuable stat, is sometimes worth buying even on runs that aren't using ranged damage at all. And I think this might have been one of them, because attack speed is so important, and we have so little of it. We're at negative attack speed. Having really low percent damage does make it less attractive, because of course it costs percent damage as well, though. You can see that our low harvesting is starting to cost us a little bit of income. We're down to only 300 on wave 11 because we have low harvesting here. I'm going to roll for the stats that we've talked about needing, and here I am going to take 10% attack speed. I think it's pretty important that we get that. We'll take the landmines. We'll grab Little Frog. I'm not building dodge, and the pickup radius and harvesting are both good. Snail is pretty nice for the Technomage and for any character doing damage over time with fire, because it works really well at giving you longer before the enemies get to you. We'll take the Schmoop for sure. I definitely want those stats. And the metal detector. Do I care about Pile of Books? It's really fun for the Technomage. But the main structure that we have can also already crit, and we have negative crit chance. So I think we have to pass on it, and we'll lock a torch here as well. Also, now that we have one level 4 torch, we're just going to focus on leveling our weapons evenly. I would like to find a level 1 to get rid of the one level 1 that we have, but we're of course not going to sell it and replace it unless we run out of the ability to upgrade our other weapons. The level 1 torch is also less useless than other level 1 weapons when you have higher level weapons, because even though when it swings, it's going to refresh the burning duration on the high damage burning from our other torches. So it can still be pretty useful. Making sure to keep the Curse Alien on fire. Our bottom mine continuing to run around, planting landmines everywhere. Very useful, of course, in the Horde wave. This is a spot where I could consider buying some range, because range isn't bad on Torch. You want range and knockback to make sure that enemies are staying away from you and have longer to burn. But I think that there are just better stats that we can get. And yeah, I'll take 3 more elemental damage. We'll go ahead and buy the items we have locked. Then I'll ban Gummy Berserker. Almost forgot to do that, which would have cost me both banning a terrible level 1 item and not getting to take a free reroll, so that would have been really bad. I would consider the Catling Gun if we had a Scared Sausage, because the ability to apply fire is actually pretty good. Unfortunately, we don't, so Catling Gun doesn't do very much for us, but we'll buy a torch. I'll take another dynamite for our bottom mine, and we'll roll here, and then, yeah, I think we're buying out this whole shop. Really awesome healing items. That's going to fix our defenses completely. And of course, Snake is still good with any fire build, and we need more % damage. So, yep, we'll just buy the whole thing. Obviously, we'd be a lot stronger if we had Scared Sausage applying fire from our structures. But it's certainly not necessary to roll into it. And something that I think you can easily fall into the trap of in this game is believing that you have to find one specific item in order to win. And that's almost never true. Even in really difficult runs, let alone in just like normal Danger 5 playing with the class as it's intended to be played sort of runs. I do need to pick up some healing there. I took a couple hits while I was talking about that. The Cursed Mini-Boss also pretty scary. That's a lot of damage on a really high health enemy. And yeah, I wasn't able to get the second loot alien, but that's okay. We'll take the Shady Potion. We're happy with that. When it shows up for free in a box like this, I'll definitely take the Energy Bracelet. And then I'm going to take 4 more regeneration. I got to get my healing online, especially because we're going into an elite wave. But having the Sad Tomato and the Jerky will help a lot with that. Let's roll here. Similarly, the Bonk Dog, unfortunately, we can't really use because we don't have a Scared Sausage. Not, you could take here. It would be pretty good, actually. The % damage is important. The HP is nice. And you don't need to upgrade your weapons more than this. I won't, because I'm recording a video for the internet, so I value the ability to buy cool legendaries and stuff. But if you're just playing to win, you can just buy Not here. We'll take the Bowler Hat, though. Even this late, those stats are pretty good. And then we'll definitely take Blazemander and Nail. These are incredible finds for us. I'm now kind of regretting not taking the Catling Gun, because it'll scale with the Nail here off our engineering, which we'll probably buy a lot of. And Blazemander is, of course, great, because it's going to spread fire everywhere. This elite, definitely on the harder end of the ones that we could be facing here. It does a lot of damage. It chases you down. We haven't ended up with enough damage, and elemental builds usually won't, that we're going to kill the elite. Maybe if it was one that was a little easier to stay near, we could have tried to kill it. But as is, we're just going to try to survive it. Typically, elemental builds and engineering builds don't want to try to kill the elites because your damage is very fixed, and you can't like make your damage higher by going by positioning nearer to the enemy or anything. With Torch, it's a little different because your weapon attacks do still do good damage. But this elite is just a little too dangerous, and our defensive stats are a little too low to want to fight it. By the time we hit the, and you can see there why, when we hit the next elite, we should be able to fight it no problem. But you can see, you know, I took a lot of damage there, more than I needed to for sure, just from bad movement, but that's why we wanted to play that somewhat cautiously, because it only takes a couple times messing up for the elite to get you. We'll take the cursed item first, and then I'll take Bowler Hat because it's an economy item, though I do want to buy those other two. You can't be the king of Brotato without a crown, so of course we're going to buy that, even with our bad harvesting. Again, if you're playing strictly to win, then you wouldn't buy that there. But, you know, I'm a humble public servant, so I always give the people what they want. Definitely want to make sure that that loot alien is on fire. We'll kill the tree. A pocket factory would be incredibly powerful for us as well. We have a lot of trees. We have lumberjack shirt. We're doing damage all over the map. So pocket factory would be really good for improving our damage. Coral, I'm just going to recycle. Bat, I will just ban. That's not an item we care about. We're going to take 3 more armor. You can see that we're taking a bunch of damage when we take hits, so I definitely want more armor. Punished for not banning saltwater earlier, because of course it has shown back up to haunt us. I might actually just ban it now. We've used so few bans at this point. Banning a couple level 2 items might be nice. We maybe can find another Blazemander or something from level 2. When you ban an item, it makes other items of that level more likely to show up, because the way that the shop works is that the game calculates what level something is going to be, and then decides what that item actually is. So, by banning items of a certain level from the shop, you make other items from that shop level more likely to appear. That's why we ban only level 1 items on the Technomage, so that you can get Scared Sausage, Turret, Landmines, and of course, the normally powerful economy items and healing items like weird foods, bags, and coupons and stuff to show up more often. This wave definitely a little worrisome because of the mini bosses. Cursed Rat, that's great, does 19 damage a hit. Crystal, I do want more attack speed. It's hard for us not to take hits, and losing engineering is a real penalty, but my attack speed is so low that I think buying the crystal is still good. I'll take 12% damage here. Fried rice is going to be a ton of healing, and then we'll take a charcoal as well. It's only 1 elemental damage, because of course we can't use the melee damage on the Technomage. Let's roll here. Particle Accelerator, this is a great late game transition. And my HP is actually pretty low, so I will take Stone Skin. I'm not a big fan of this item, it's pretty inefficient, but with only 58 HP, I do want to boost it a little more. I wish I'd found the Particle Accelerator before this wave, though. We'd have been able to kill this elite very easily. As is, I think we're going to be just short on damage, but I will try it. We can attack it over and over again. We've got fire damage and good attacks from our torches. We were always going to lose the crystal bonus eventually there, but I was able to maintain it for a decent amount of time. I do have to back off just a bit, though, because I took too many hits, and then we'll run back in and start DPSing the elite again. This elite is another one that's very hard to stay near because its triple attack pattern can be really dangerous up close. As you saw there, we took a couple double instances of damage from it, so unfortunately, because I messed up my movement, I'm going to back off from it. This was always a marginal elite kill, but our defenses are good enough that we can just stay alive. If I'd had the Particle Accelerator, we'd have been able to kill it easily. I don't want to lose 15% damage, so I'm recycling the explosive shells. I will take 2 engineering. Lure, this is incredible. 4 regeneration, extra curse. This is all stuff that we're very happy to see. We'll combine our torches and buy a particle accelerator. We'll buy the stone skin. That gives me a little more leeway. Small fish I'm not very excited by on this character, so I'm just going to ban it, and then maybe we can still find a late game scared sausage to really boost our damage output. The damage from the particle accelerator, of course, is really high because it scales off of engineering and elemental, and we're building both. And it can hit everything. There's the first of the 4 loot aliens that we're guaranteed to see. Now, just because the lure says 4 doesn't mean 4 is the maximum that we'll get. We could get even more than that. We don't have any increased enemy spawns on this run. Another reason we're a little behind in economy is we haven't found any of the best economy tools. But as you saw there, I think we did get 4, maybe even 5, or 5, maybe even 6 loot aliens. I wasn't quite able to get the last one killed. Coral, not a great item. We will take the Blood Leech. I do want more regen. We'll take another lure for sure. I'll take the Tardigrade. It works well with our crystal. And Adrenaline, we're never going to proc with dodge this low, so we'll recycle that. I'll go ahead and recycle the wings as well, because I don't want to lose elemental damage. With 66 HP, I think we're okay, so I'm going to roll here, and I'll take 3 more elemental damage. I'll definitely take a regeneration potion. That's an awesome find. And that mostly fixes our healing issues. Diploma is pretty nice. A lot of engineering in the end game. Works with our bottom mine and everything. I guess I'll take it, and then I'll lock these other items as well, because these are all really good for the end game, but the extra 50% XP gain from the Diploma, we're buying it for the engineering, not for the XP gain, but the extra XP gain might get us 1 more level this wave than we would have gotten otherwise, so might as well buy it first. We did end up with a weaker version of this run than you usually will, I think. Though the Technomage is a deceptively weak character a lot of the time. But frequently you'll end up much stronger because you'll have found Scared Sausage, you'll have found early game economy. In this particular run, we got a little unlucky with our shops and everything. Didn't find good early game economy items, never found a Scared Sausage, only found the 1 bottom mine and so on. So a lot of your runs when you try this will probably be stronger in practice. We really can't afford to lose more knockdown, but I think I still do want to take the banner. The attack speed just matters so much against the bosses, and I'll take the movement speed here as well. We'll upgrade all of these. We'll roll. Oh, sure, now we get a coupon. I'll roll again. The Cursed Metal is a great find going into the boss waves, and we'll take a mushroom as well. Do a reroll. Yeah, and of course we find Gentle Alien and everything as well. And a roll again just for fun here, just to see what shows up. Shackles would have been a really nice find earlier also. And then let's go straight to wave 20. So I'm going to try not to take too many hits, because I would like to maintain my crystal bonus, though I then immediately took damage. I think that in this run, because we're a little weaker than we would be on average, we're going to be better off not trying too hard to kill the bosses. I'll try to put a little damage on them, but mostly we're going to rely on our actually very good defensive stats to survive. Taking a lot of extra damage there, so we're just going to back off and heal. Use our jerky and our really strong regeneration to heal back up. Pick up some more regeneration. The garden was actually a really nice find, because it means that we always have a fruit that we can pick up. And with jerky, That's just so much healing and such reliable healing that it's going to help ensure that we're never in any danger, because we can pick it up before we've taken damage, and then it'll heal us if we take damage afterwards. Or we can pick it up after we've taken damage, and it brings us back up to full health. So I can just tank these hits, even though normally on the Technomage, that would be very difficult. We've just ended up as a more defensive version of the character, and overall, like I said, a lower economy, slightly weaker version. But that's okay, you can still win if you get unlucky in the shop, and I think this is a good demonstration of that. Taking a look at our items here as we achieve victory, our turrets dealt 35k, our landmines 30k, and our rats 40k. So you can see how the rats were very good. They also choose an enemy and not bring it down from full health to 0 health, so they're really good at actually getting you kills. Bag did pretty well, 315 materials. I guess we got a lot of lures. Only 25k on our bottom mine. We never ended up with a ton of engineering, so the bottom mine didn't get that powerful. 3 items from treasure map. A little bit low given how many lures we had, but obviously still very good. A bunch of healing from Dock Moth. We had 147 bonus materials from Metal Detector, so that did very well. Our Blazemander for 42,000 damage, so a nice contributor there. Only 5,400 from the Spicy Sauce. We didn't have any explosion size, which is what makes this usually do something at all. The Nail, of course, was very good, scaling our damage with our engineering, and then anything else that we were looking at in the end game? Not particularly. We mostly just bought solid, powerful items and were able to survive, even though we didn't find the best items that were the ones that we were specifically looking for. And of course, our particle accelerator dealt 16k and our torches about 8k, so this was a nice pickup for the end game. Alright, my friends, I hope that you've enjoyed this look at the Technomage. With the new update. As you can see, it plays a little bit differently, and I think it's a much more reliable character now because you can use the extra HP from torches and the damage from Bottom Mine and Blazemander to still clear the wave and make money and everything. As always, of course, if you've enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a comment and hit like. Helps me out with the algorithm, so I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy game analysis. Cheers, folks. I'll catch you next time.